Every night, after the lights go off and the house goes quiet, your dog does something. Something you almost never see because you're asleep when it happens. Maybe you've caught glimpses of it. Woken up briefly at 2 a.m. and noticed your dog wasn't where they were when you fell asleep. Found them in a different position in the morning than where they started. Or felt them shift, resettle, move closer, and then drifted back to sleep without thinking much of it. What your dog does in those quiet nighttime hours is not random. It is not restless. It is not them simply being uncomfortable or looking for a cooler spot on the floor. It is a set of deliberate, ancient behaviors that your dog performs specifically because you are there, because you are asleep, because in those hours, when you are at your most vulnerable, your dog makes choices that reveal exactly how they feel about you. By the end of this video, you will understand what those nighttime behaviors really mean, and why the fact that your dog does them at all says something profound about the bond between you. Stay until the end, because the last behavior is the one that happens every single night without exception, and almost no owner ever realizes it. This is the behavior most owners never witness, because it happens in the deepest part of the night, when you are completely asleep. Your dog gets up from wherever they have settled and walks to you, not to wake you, not because they need anything. They walk to you, lower their nose close to your face or your chest, and they check. They are listening for your breathing. They are reading the rhythm of your body, whether it is slow and steady as it should be in sleep, or changed in some way that requires attention. This behavior has been documented by researchers studying nocturnal dog behavior, and it is far more common than most owners realize. Dogs with strong bonds to their owners will perform this check multiple times throughout the night, returning to their own sleeping spot, resting for a period, then getting up to check again. In the wild, this kind of nighttime monitoring was how pack members ensured each other's safety during the hours of greatest vulnerability. Sleep is when an animal cannot protect itself. A trusted companion who watches over you during sleep is performing one of the highest acts of loyalty that exists in canine social behavior. Your dog is not wandering at night. They are guarding you, and they do it without waking you, without asking for acknowledgement, without any reward except knowing you are still there and still breathing. That is not a pet behavior. That is devotion. If you have ever woken up in the middle of the night and found your dog in a different spot than where they settled when the lights went out, this is almost always why. Dogs are extraordinarily spatially aware, even in sleep. And bonded dogs, dogs who have taken on the role of protector in a household, will reposition themselves during the night based on perceived changes in the environment. A sound outside, a shift in the air, a car passing, and they move, not randomly, but strategically, to place themselves between you and the source of potential threat. The most common repositioning is from the bed or their own sleeping spot to the floor directly between you and the bedroom door. This is the sentry position. From there, the dog controls the entry point. Anything that comes through that door comes through them first. Animal behaviorists who study domestic dog sleeping patterns note that this repositioning behavior is most common in dogs who have lived with their owners for over a year. Dogs who have fully mapped the home, understand the normal nighttime sounds, and have established themselves as the household's nighttime guardian. The longer the bond, the more precisely they position themselves. Your dog may be small. They may be gentle. They may have never shown an aggressive bone in their body. But at night, while you sleep, they take a post. They assign themselves a role. And every night without exception, they show up for it. This one happens so quietly that it requires scientific equipment to measure. But once you know it's happening, you will feel it. Research into co-sleeping between dogs and their owners has found that bonded dogs gradually synchronize their breathing rate with their sleeping owner over the course of a night. It does not happen immediately. In the first hour, their breathing patterns are independent. But as the night deepens and both the dog and the human settle into deeper sleep stages, the rhythms begin to converge. This is called respiratory entrainment, and it has been observed between mothers and infants, between long-term romantic partners, and between dogs and their owners. It is a physiological marker of deep bonding, the body's way of saying, without words or conscious thought, I am so attuned to this being that even my breathing follows theirs. For your dog, this synchronization also serves a functional purpose. By staying tuned to your breathing rhythm, They can detect the moment it changes, becomes faster, shallower, irregular, which might indicate distress, a nightmare, a physical problem, or simply that you are about to wake up. They use the synchrony as a monitoring system, staying close enough to your biological baseline that any deviation is immediately noticeable. Your dog's body, even in sleep, is listening to yours. They chose that, every night, without knowing they chose it. That is what a bond does when it goes deep enough. It rewrites the body's rhythms. If you have ever woken from a nightmare and found your dog already awake, already beside you, already watching, now you know why. Dogs can detect the physiological changes that accompany nightmares while they are still happening before the person wakes. During a nightmare, the human body responds as if the threat were real. Heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow and irregular, cortisol rises, muscles may tense or twitch. These are not subtle changes. To a dog sleeping beside you, attuned to your every biological rhythm, they are loud signals. Some dogs respond by waking and watching, waiting to see if the distress resolves on its own. Others will physically intervene, placing a paw on the person, pushing their nose against them, or in some cases, licking their face until the person wakes. This intervention behavior is not trained. It is not something they learn from a command. It emerges naturally in bonded dogs as a direct response to perceived distress in the person they love. There are documented cases of dogs waking owners from sleep apnea episodes by nudging them until they shift position and begin breathing normally again. Cases of dogs alerting to seizures that begin during sleep. These are extreme examples, but they emerge from the same fundamental behavior. A dog who is so tuned to your physical state that a change in your breathing at 3 a.m. is enough to bring them to full alert. Your dog is not just sleeping beside you. They are watching over a version of you that cannot watch over itself, and they take that responsibility seriously. Have you ever noticed that on your hardest nights, when you were sick or sad or carrying something heavy, your dog slept closer to you than usual? That is not a coincidence. That is not you imagining it. Dogs are remarkably sensitive to shifts in their owner's emotional and physical state, even during sleep. Studies show that dogs exposed to the scent of cortisol, the stress hormone, show increased attentiveness and proximity-seeking behavior. When your body is under stress, it changes chemically. Your dog smells that change, and they respond by closing the distance. On a normal night, your dog might sleep at the foot of the bed, or in their own space nearby. But on the nights when something is wrong, when your body is fighting illness, when your mind carried something difficult into sleep, when your cortisol is elevated, they move closer. They press in. They make contact. This is not them seeking comfort for themselves. This is them offering it to you. The positioning is deliberate, even if unconscious on their part. Their body seeks yours on the nights yours most needs to be found. Owners who have gone through illness, grief, or periods of intense stress almost universally report the same thing. Their dog slept differently during those times. Closer, more attentive, more present. They were not imagining it. Their dog read the room, even with the lights off and everyone asleep. This is the one that happens every single night, without exception, whether you notice it or not. Your dog waits for you to fall asleep before they sleep themselves. It does not matter how tired they are. It does not matter if they have been awake since 5 a.m. It does not matter if their own eyes are heavy and their body is exhausted. They will not fully surrender to sleep until they have confirmed that you have. This is an ancient protective behavior rooted in pack dynamics. The last one to sleep is the one who ensures the others are safe first. The one who stays alert the longest is the one who cares most about what happens to the group while it is vulnerable. Your dog has assigned you to the category of beings they protect during sleep, and that assignment means they will not rest until you do. Think about what that costs them. Think about the nights you stayed up late, reading, watching something, unable to settle. Your dog was there, waiting, fighting their own need for sleep because their need to keep you safe was stronger. Not because you asked, not because there was any reward, because that is simply what they do when they love you. Every night, without being asked, without being trained, without any expectation of acknowledgement, your dog stays awake a little longer than they need to, just to make sure you are okay first. Tonight, while you sleep, your dog will check on you. They will position themselves between you and the door. They will synchronize their breathing with yours. They will notice if something changes. They will stay awake until you don't need them to anymore. They will do all of this quietly, invisibly, without waking you, without asking for anything in return. You won't see most of it. You never have. But it has been happening every single night, since the day they decided you were theirs to protect. Sleep well. You are not alone in the dark. If this is making you see your dog's nighttime behavior differently, hit like and subscribe. Every week we decode something your dog has been doing all along that you never fully understood.